Really? This unconfirmed report of your father's return must have turned your head. Otherwise, I would find it difficult to understand why you would send Annie to disturb me when you knew I was resting.
I told you I had to talk with you.
Well, why in this musty old room of all places?
Because it's Father's room.
Well... if you're quite ready, perhaps you will explain.
I suppose Annie told you I had gone to visit Peter and Hazel while you were away.
Yes, I thought that peculiar, you staying overnight. What suddenly gave you that notion?
I didn't.
You didn't visit them?
No.
Well, what did you do?
I went to New York. I saw you meet Brandt.
What if you did? I told you myself that I met him by accident.
You went to his room.
He asked me to meet a friend, a lady. It was her house that we went to.
I asked the woman in the basement. He had hired the room under another name. She said you had been there often in the past year.
It was the first time I'd ever been there. He insisted on my going. He said he wanted to talk about you. He wanted my help to approach your father.
How can you lie like that?
Vinny!
I followed you upstairs. I heard you telling him I love you, Adam, and kissing him. You're vile and evil. How could you do such a thing to Father? How could you?
You would understand if you were the wife of a man you hated.
Don't say that. I won't listen.
You will listen. I speak to you like a woman now, not like a mother to a daughter. That relationship has no meaning for us.
Let go of me. So you've always hated Father?
No, I loved him once, before we were married. Incredible as that seems now. He was handsome in his lieutenant's uniform. Marriage soon turned his romance into disgust.
So I was born of your disgust. I felt it ever since I can remember. Your disgust.
I've tried to love you. I told myself it wasn't human not to love a child born of one's own body. But I could never believe you were born of any body but his.
You've loved Orrin. Why didn't you hate him too?
Because by then I had forced myself into being resigned in order to live. Most of the time when I was carrying him, your father was with the army in Mexico. I'd forgotten him. Then when Orrin was born, he seemed my child. Only mine. I loved him for that. I knew his leaving me for this war was your doing principally, Vinny.
It was his duty as a Manon to go.
Well, I hope you realize that I would never have fallen in love with Adam if I had had Orrin with me. When he'd gone, there was nothing left but a longing for love. That's when I met Adam. I saw he loved me.
Adam Brandt doesn't love you. You're only his means of revenge on Father. Do you know who he really is? He's the son of that low nurse girl who Grandfather turned out of the house.
So you found that out. I knew that. All along. He told me when he said he loved me.
And I suppose knowing gave you all the more satisfaction.
Would you kindly get to the point and tell me what you intend doing? I suppose you'll hardly let your father on the door before you tell him.
No, not unless you force me to. He hasn't been well lately. I don't want him hurt.
I know better than to expect any generosity on my account.
I won't tell him, provided you give up Brandt and never see him again.
What a fraud you are, Vinny. with your talk of duty and your father. That's not the real reason you spare me.
It is.
You want Adam Brandt for yourself.
That's a lie.
And now that you know you can't have him, you're determined to at least take him from me.
No.
If you tell your father, I'll have to go away with Adam. And he'll be mine still. You can't bear the thought of that, can you?
Your evil mind.
I know you, Vinny. I've watched you ever since you were little, doing exactly what you're doing now. You've tried to become the wife of your father and the mother of Orrin. You've always schemed to steal my place.
It's you who've taken everything from me since the time I was born.
Suppose I refuse. Suppose I go away openly with Adam. Where will you and your father and the family name be then? I'll at least have the man I love.
Oh, not for long. Father will use his influence to get him blacklisted. He'll lose his command and never get another, and you know how he loves the flying trades. And don't forget you're older than he is. He'll be in his prime when you're an old woman. He'll grow to hate the sight of you.
Devil, you
I wouldn't call names if I were you.
I am a fool to let you make me lose my temper over your jealous spite. Well, I agree. I promise you. I will never see Adam Brandt again after he calls this evening. Are you satisfied?
You seem to take giving him up pretty easily.
Do you think that I would ever give you the satisfaction of watching me grieve? You will never have a chance to gloat, Vinny.
I don't trust you. I know you're plotting how you can make a fool of me and break the promise you've just made. You better not. I'll be watching you every minute. And I won't be the only one. I wrote to Father and Orrin when I got back from New York.
But Adam...
Only enough so they'd be suspicious and watch you, too. Brand is outside. You can go and tell him what you have to do. See that you get rid of him. Right now.
Lavinia!